So, Janey is absolutely right. I did put out a book called Shadow Man with Civil Coping Mechanisms. I am not going to read from that book tonight because I'm fucked, but can I get that flashlight? I'm going to read to you from a book called Critique of Pure Reason. That's going to be out next month. Excuse me. And thanks to Janey and Zach and Josh and Derrick. This has been a lot of fun. Okay. The agency's stated priority is the reacquisition and demobilization, deconcatenation, detention, and debriefing of the stated targets: Marks Groucho, Marks Chico, Marks Harpo. Appended to Council's response to agency's request is agency's report on the previous series of interrogations conducted 13 April to 18 April 72nd year of Firefly. You indicated that the standard stateroom detention chamber reserved for series such as this one would not be used in the present series of interrogations. You indicated orally that the interrogations of the detainee Marks Chico and detainee Marks Harpo were initially essayed using standard stateroom protocol. You indicated orally that detainee Marks Chico was shown to be effective in interpreting otherwise unclassifiable information extracted from detainee Marks Harpo, but that information was thus obtained was shown to be uniformly faulty. Detainee Marks Chico reports that he knows say Paul T. He don't even know any Paul T. He say Rufus T. Rufus T. Firefly. You indicated that coffin-style detention chambers would be used in all phases of the suspect's detention. Use of coffin detention chambers, also known as bucket or can chambers, has been determined most effective in the case of detainees showing marked proclivities toward prevarications while under interrogation, and in the case of suspected double operatives and the irretrievably deceased. You indicated orally that all such standards applied in the present series of interrogations, resulting in Council's approval of the recommendation RE coffin detention chambers. Detainee Marks Chico reports that he knows smoke, so he knows about the coffin. But you go right ahead. He don't mind. The coffin detention chamber under Section 2340A of Title 18 United States Fredonia Code is under no circumstances to be used punitively. Detainees are to be removed and debriefed at irregular intervals to prevent the risk of possible contamination or liberation. Sessions are to be scheduled in advance and kept to an absolute minimum to prevent the unnecessary risk of exposure and transportation. Council advised that exposure can lead to deterioration of information and detainee, and that invasion by bugs or worms rises in direct proportion to the number of sessions requested in the series. Council further advised that certain recreational activities are absolutely forbidden in close proximity to coffin detention chambers to protect against contamination, deterioration, and liberation. You indicated that detainees were questioned RE bugs and searched prior to the series, and that all personnel were required to forego the game of pinochle during the period of detention. Detainee Marks Chico reports that he got a peanuts. All the time he got a peanuts. That's what you want, but that's not what you want. Unless that's what you want. And if that's what you want, why you say nothing? All the time you say nothing. He asks you something, you say nothing. Detainee Marks Harper questioned separately and simultaneously removed administrator's headgear and attempted to set fire to it. No communication between detainees in contravention of protocol garbo may be allowed to take place while the detainee is secured in the chamber. All chambers must be kept at a minimum tenebrosity level of 99.99% shadow, and an absolute quietus is strongly advised. You indicated orally that detainees in the present series repeatedly contravened that protocol, possibly utilizing a code unknown to you. Council has appended the reported contraventions to the present report in the order you reported they occurred during the detention period. Detainee Marks Chico reports that he no have a cold. It's just sniffles. Detainee Marks Harpo produced State Department 11-536-9-12 polka dot handkerchief, possibly weaponized, smuggled into detention site by unknown source, pending investigation. Measurements of chambers to be used in this series and in all such should run as follows, as per CIA benchmarks: no more than 4 feet deep, no more than 5 feet 4 inches long, no more than 2.5 feet abreast. Detainee Marks Groucho reports that he would give one hand and at least half a foot abreast, depending on the girl and depending on how cold the tape measure was. These chambers are set into pneumatic apparatus and should be set on a don't think that's for me. And should be set on a maximum 85 degree, minimum 82 degree from plumb incline for maximum effectiveness to prevent detainees from reclining fully and or comfortably. Bracketed sprockets allow for manipulation of the chamber after the detainee has been administered. Detainee Marks Groucho reports that he could go for a sleeper cell right now. He hasn't slept a wink. Hell, he doesn't even know wink, and besides, he doesn't go for men. It looks like administrator doesn't either. Maybe administrator could start, or maybe administrator could just go and forget all about the men. Evidence suggests that pressure on the heel while held in this position causes chronic fulgurant pain in the detainee when so held for the recommended 24 out of 28 hours. Musculature of the leg must be kept tensed in this position to relieve the pressure on the calcaneus, reducing the likelihood of the contravention of auxiliary protocols and retarding decomposition and atrophy. Detainee Marks Harpo repeatedly attempted, despite reprisal, to effect forced transport by depositing his right femoral appendage into any and all extended grasping devices. Protocol for administering detainees is as follows. Detainees are anesthetized, hooded, blinkered, and interceptors are placed over the ears. Lorazepam, a habit-forming amnesic sedative, is usually indicated. When withdrawn, 89% of subjects experience mild to severe insomnia. Detainees are then entered into the chamber using the wheel, a conveyor that delivers the reclining detainee into the chamber without risk of contravening protocol garbo. Detainees are thus rendered in optimum state, fully awake sleep. It has been found that the protocol is 15% more effective when the detainee has been anesthetized prior to sealing the chamber. Under Section 2340A of Title 18 of United States of Fredonia Code, detainees may be held so immobilized for as much as 86% of time under detention, or 24 out of 28 hours, with an upper limit of 28 out of 28 hours, provided detainees are given inadequate or non-existent nutriment, a median ambient temperature of 55 degrees Fahrenheit is maintained, and all such periods occur consecutively. Detainee Marks Groucho reports that he could go 29 out of 28 hours if you gave him a head start and a broken clock. Oh, and while you're at it, he wants to see his lawyer. More than that, though, he wants to see the Cubs win one. More than that, though, he wants to see his wife again. More than that, he wants to see your wife again. You indicated the protocol would be followed at the upper limit of Section 2340A of Title 18 USF Code. Counsel recommended that 4 extended periods under this protocol, intervals of physical activity, are necessary to prevent livor mortis, if the detainee is not to be later cast in wax or dehydrated and preserved for the harvesting of relics. Counsel recommended musical performance in light of the particular talents of the detainees. You indicated that several auxiliary protocols would be employed in the interrogation of the present group of detainees. Detainee Marks Chico reports that he knows a protocol, but she charges too much. Under protocol garbo, round-the-clock surveillance of the detainee is necessary when approaching or exceeding the upper limits to prevent the detainee from entering into NREM sleep. Under CIA norms, the tilt of the chamber and the consequent discomfort of the detainee, combined with the insomnia-inducing effects of the withdrawal of the sedative, are often enough in themselves to prevent restful repose. Some detainees have shown the ability, after several days' acclimation, to progress to N2, even N3 in REM sleep by turning over onto their fronts and resting their anterior halves against the chamber wall. This has been found to be deleterious to the success of the interrogation. Even N2 in REM sleep has been shown to increase resistance to questioning and facility in fabrication of faulty information. You indicated that adequate staff had been acquired, shifts established, and auxiliary protocols put in place to ensure that the objective would be met. After 72 hours under the protocol, detainees often report hallucinations of a luminous nature, begin to converse with absent parties, show signs of livor mortis, and progress rapidly to advanced stages of decomposition. Counsel advised that when directed, this can be useful as a deterrent. If this progress is left undirected, however, detainees will typically resist questioning from the interrogator or respond with bad intelligence. Detainees often begin to show listlessness and dementia after just 28 hours of the protocol. Detainee Marks Chico reports that it's a nice dementia too, but he no habit a list. Anyway, there was a nothing on it, he already got everything he needed. Protocol Victor Frankenstein, the delivery of small bursts of low-level electrical impulses to the scalp of the detainee has been found to prevent detainees from progressing to N2 NREM sleep and to alleviate listlessness and dementia in detainees so affected. You indicated orally that this protocol was employed on detainee Marks Gummo. You indicated orally that the detainee responded positively to the first series of such impulses, entering the cataphrenic or schizotonic state in just 32 hours. You indicated orally that a further series caused the detainee to foam at the mouth, and you further indicated orally that the detainee suffered sudden systole, possibly as a result of the intensity of the electrical impulse used. You indicated orally that the chamber used was scheduled to be delivered to DOJ Hard Site USF DOJ A0001, Region 01, codename Lethe. In light of detainee Marks Gummo's possible palpitation, Section 2341B of Title 18 USF Code indicates discontinuance of the use of such impulses pending counsel's recommendation. I'll leave you there. That's enough memorandum. Thanks very much.